The US, let me repeat, has rubbished the notion that they have been involved in regime change in Pakistan. You continue to assert what they suggest is a conspiracy theory here. Do you genuinely believe that the US has been behind a regime change in Pakistan?
Before this happened, before this meeting with Donald Lu and our ambassador, the US Embassy was calling members of my party who were some of the backbenchers who were not happy. They were having meetings with the US Embassy. And what were they meeting them? And they were the first ones who then jumped ship. And they were the ones who then offered $1 million each to buy my other members of parliament who actually jumped ship later on. Why would the US Embassy be interested in backbenchers of our party?
So is the current government an American implant?
It's with their blessings. And, you know, the painful thing, Becky, is not just that everyone, we all call it imported government, but the worst thing is there are a bunch of criminals. For 30 years, these guys have been plundering the country. 60% of the cabinet is on bail.
You were in Russia meeting President Putin the day he announced the war in Ukraine. The optics didn't and don't look good, do they?
They didn't, Becky, but let me explain to you, this visit was planned a long time back, and all the stakeholders in Pakistan were on board. The military wanted hardware from the Russians. We wanted oil. There was a gas pipeline which was being negotiated for the past 6 years before my government came in. So this trip was planned a long time before. How would I know that the day I land in Moscow, President Putin decides to go into Ukraine? I wasn't supposed to know that.
Do you regret that trip now?
I would regret if we had known about the invasion and then I had gone in, I guess I would have regretted it, because I do not believe in military solutions. I have opposed all military ways of achieving political ends. But I wasn't supposed to know.
They can decide their fate.
Imran Khan does still enjoy huge popular support. He tweeted a day ago the following, starting with "Never have such crowds come out so spontaneously and in such numbers in our history, rejecting the imported government led by crooks." Those protests, he claims, are against a US-backed regime change. He is right to point out there were massive, massive protests, demonstrations of support. That tweet alone garnered 7.2 million views. What are your thoughts on his belief that his ouster is all part of a US orchestrated?
As far as his support is concerned, of course, little fascists all over the world enjoy their cult following, but that does not mean that the majority of Pakistan should be dictated to by these fascist regimes.
Okay, but let's be quite clear, though. He does retain enormous popular support. Okay, but let's be quite clear, though. He does retain enormous popular support. Okay, but let's be quite clear, though. He does retain enormous popular support.